synergy. I have been doubted through life, been there and done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong, been struggling too long. This song is for you, I'm proving you wrong. Get out my way, get out my way, get out my way, get out my way.
I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.
Music by on Amazon Music.
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming last night when I pulled up the lot. That's done. Right in my town, you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds on it. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Black stripe, yellow paint. Them niggas scared of it, but them hoes ain't. Soon as I hit the club, look at them hoes' face. Hit the pedal once, make the floor shake. Sway inside, my engine roaring. It's the big boy, you know what I paid for it. And I got the pedal to the metal. Got you niggas checking game, I'm ballin' out on every level. Hear them haters talk, but there's nothing you can tell them. Just made $1 million, got another $1 million on my schedule. No love for them, nigga breaking hearts. No keys, push to start. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming last night when I pulled up the lot. That's done. Right in my town, you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds on it. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Got a call from my jeweler, this just in. The bitches love me cause I'm fucking with their best friends. Not a lesbian, but she a freak though. To say for one night I'm shining all week, ho. I'm sipping Clico and rocking yellow diamonds. So many rocks up in my watch, I can't tell what the time is. Got a pocket full of big faces. Throw it up cause every nigga that I'm with Taylor. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming last night when I pulled up the lot. That's done. Right in my town, you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds on it. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Stay high like I'm supposed to do. That crowd underneath them clouds can't get close to you. And my car look unapproachable. Super clean, but it's super mean. She wanna fuck with them cats, smoke weed, count stacks, get fly, take trips, and that's that. Real rap, I let her get high as she want and she feel that. Convertible drop feel, 87 the top pill. Back, you know what it is. Yeah, you know what it is. Y'all already know what it is, man. If you don't, you should by now. I'ma tell when you see me, you know everything. I put it down, take the game. My diamonds on it, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah. Screaming last night when I pulled up the lot. That's done. Right in my town, you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds on it. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to Atmos Love Zone Live. Who up in here? Who up in here? Who up in here? Granny, what's going on? Bev Davis in the house, 100 devices. Nikki, Geechee girl in the building. Diva Time, Karen A, SF, Spiritual Gangster, BBP. You made it. Yes, you made it. You made it. Diva Time in the building, 15th Ward. What's going on? You made it. You made it. You made it. Nikki, what's up? What's up? I'm a Queen Newton. Hey, let me see. Karen A said Peter is doing an excellent job sharing your commentary. Well, thank you, Peter. I ain't even know. I appreciate you. Thank you, my sister. All right. Marnisha, Simply Living. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Okay. 3. What's the 3? What's the 3 for? 3. Who's in here? Okay, who in here thinks he's guilty? Press 3. Oh, I'm seeing a whole bunch of 3s. Okay, I'm like, what in the world going on? Just Videos says, Shadow, what's going on? All right, y'all. This is the one and only Atmos Love Zone. We are about to rock. Y'all about to rock and roll into these transcripts. Y'all, listen. Man, we got, we ready to go. We ready to go. So I was going to read like the news article for the day, but I know y'all want me to get straight to the transcripts because y'all know I left off yesterday. Let's get straight to it. We ain't going to waste no time. We ain't going to waste no time. Okay? So this right here. Let me make sure I'm starting at the right spot. I think it was 1871. Hold on. 1871. Yes. So I'm at the wrong place right here. Let me get to 1871. Because we was in the middle of the Arline. Here we go. Yeah, let's get back to Mr. John Doe. John Doe number 1. What's good? Let's good, y'all. Let's get it. Here we go. Can y'all see? 1871. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right. So the last question that was asked by the government was to John Doe number 1. She said, during that encounter, who, if anyone, was giving instructions? He said, Robert. The government said, what, if anything, did you do while the defendant gave instructions? He said, just sat there. The government said, did you say anything? He said, no. The government said, what, if anything, did the individual in Government's Exhibit 78 say during that encounter? Lewis said, she just did as she was told. She didn't say nothing except call me by my name and call me daddy. The lawyer said, so to be clear, and I don't want you to say your name, but did the defendant use your real name when he told her to call you by your name? Lewis said, yes. The lawyer said, did you respond? Like when the individual in the Government's Exhibit 78 was giving you oral sex with the defendant in the room? He said, how did I react? She said, yes. He said, I was just sitting there. Like, I really couldn't, get really excited because it was uncomfortable situation. The lawyer said, what made it uncomfortable? Lewis said, because Robert was like standing right there. The lawyer said, the defendant? Lewis said, yes. The lawyer said, did you want the defendant shown in Government's Exhibit 78 to be giving you oral sex in front of the defendant? Arline said, no. The lawyer said, what, if anything, did the defendant say? I guess it's trying to say that, but it says you. The defendant say? Arline said, he seen I was getting excited from what was going on. He was like, I'm confused. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. If you want a woman or a man. What? Shouldn't it be pretty evident that if he's getting excited because of the woman, that's what he want? I don't know. I'm confused, y'all. I'm confused. All right, let me make sure y'all can hear me. Hold one moment. Okay, so that's really confusing. Okay, anyway. The lawyer said, just to be clear for the record, when you say that you weren't getting excited, do you mean you weren't sexually responding to what was happening? Arline said yes. The lawyer said, Kinnick said, leading. The judge says overruled. The government said during the time that you spent with the defendant at his house or at his studio. And by the way, before I ask that question, you testified earlier about the studio at Olympia Fields and also about the studio on Justine Street. Have you visited any other studios that the defendant used? Arline said, yes. The lawyer said, where were those? Arline said, on Ohio Street. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me turn this air on. Okay, I'm back. So, Arline said on Ohio Street. The lawyer said, do you recall when you say Ohio Street, in what city? Arline said, Chicago, Illinois. The government said, do you recall when the defendant was using the studio on Ohio Street? The witness said, I'm not sure of the dates or the year. I know it was in between Olympia Fields and Justine. The government said, so it was after his time in Olympia Fields and before his time in the studio on Justine Street. Arline said, correct. So then the lawyer said, now, during the time that you spent with the defendant at his house or at his studios, have you ever taken anything from him? Arline said, yes. The lawyer said, now, just to be clear, I'm talking about other than the time that you took the money that he provided for the individual on number 68's bail. What have you taken? Arline said a camcorder. The lawyer said, when did you take the camcorder from the defendant? Arline said, you said when? The government said yes. Arline said, me and one of my friends was at a party. And most of the time, you got to wait around before you get to the party sometimes. And there was a camcorder sitting on the desk with a runner. And I asked the runner about it. And he said that he thinks it was somebody that left it there from the party. And it was there for some days. So I took it. The government said, when you say a runner, who are you referring to? What do you mean by a runner? Lewis said, someone who works for Robert. The government said, where was this and where was this and this happened? Arline said, the house in Olympia Fields. Arline said, the government said, what, if anything, did you do with that camcorder? Arline said, I took it home and watched it. The government said, what was on the camcorder? Arline said, it was just him rehearsing. The government said, the defendant rehearsing? Arline said, yes. The government said, and what happened to that camcorder? Arline said, later on, my friend had called me and told me to give it back. The government said, the individual who called you, it was the individual shown in Government's Exhibit 68, which I'm putting on the screen. Arline said, yes. The government said, what did you do what did you do with the camcorder at that time? Arline said, gave it back to him. He took it back. The government said, you gave it to this individual? Arline said, yes. In 68 for the record. Arline said, yes. The government said, aside from that camcorder, was there anything else that you took from the defendant or the defendant's residence? Arline said, no. The government said, do you remember the last time that you saw the defendant in person? Arline said, yes. The government said, prior to today? Arline said, yes. The government said, where did you last see the defendant in person? Arline said, at Trump Towers. The government said, now, where was the defendant living at the time? Arline said, at the Trump Towers. The government said, what led to you seeing the defendant at the Trump Towers? Arline said, he told me he needed to talk to me. Arline, and then the government said, do you remember approximately when this happened? When you last saw him? Arline said, not sure of the date. The government said, now, you said that you saw him at the Trump Towers. Was that the Trump Towers in Chicago? Arline said, yes. The government said, where was he living? Where he was living? Arline said, yes. The government said, you said that the defendant said he needed to see you. Is that correct? Arline said, yes. The government said, now, who, if anyone else, was there when you saw the defendant at the Trump Towers that day? Arline said, the only person I saw there that day was him. The government said, what happened when you saw the defendant? Arline said, we sat in the hallway. The government said, which hallway? Arline said, of the Trump Towers. The government said, and do you remember what floor you were on? Arline said, no. The government said, do you remember what happened when you saw the defendant? Arline said, he came to the door. He came out, said, we need to talk. He had a notepad and a pen. The government said, and were you meeting with the defendant inside an apartment at the Trump Towers or outside? Hold on. The government said, and were you meeting with the defendant inside an apartment at the Trump Towers or outside? Arline said, outside in the hallway. Okay. The government said, okay. So in the hallway outside of an apartment, is that correct? Arline said, correct. The government said, and you testified he came out with what? Arline said, a notepad and a pen. The government said, what did he say to you? Arline said, told me, he said, he need me to write this letter to protect me and him. The government said, and how did you respond? Arline said, I said, okay. The government said, did the defendant tell you what he wanted you to write in this letter? Arline said, yes. The government said, did you in fact write the letter? Arline said, yes. The government said, how did you write it? Arline said, how did I write it? The government said, uh-huh. Arline said, he gave me the notepad and I wrote the letter. The government said, a handwritten letter? Arline said, yes. The government said, and whose idea was the content in that letter? Arline said, he told me word for word what to say. The government said, what did he tell you to write? Arline said, well, he told me that some people were trying to contact me and pay me off because they say we was having homosexual relationship. Let me read that one more time. Arline said that R. Kelly told him, he said, he told me that some people were trying to contact me and pay me off because they say we was having a sexual/homosexual relationship. Okay. And the lawyer said, and so what did he want you to say about that? Arline said, that's what he wanted me to write in the letter, that some people was calling me to contact me to pay me to say we was having a sexual relationship. The government said, did you indicate in that letter whether you were or were not having a sexual relationship with the defendant? Arline said, no. The lawyer said, at that time, had anyone contacted you about a sexual relationship with the defendant? Arline said, no. The government said, had anyone paid you any money? Arline said, no. The government said, in regards to a sexual relationship with the defendant? Arline said, no. The government said, so was the content of the letter that you wrote true? Arline said, no. The government said, now you testified that the defendant told you it was for his protection. Is that correct? Arline said, yes. The government said, what did you understand the defendant to mean by that? Arline said, I thought, it was something that will protect us. So what happened in the past, I will never, it will never come to light. The government said, what do you mean what had happened in the past? Arline said, sexual encounters that we had. Government said, aside from telling the government in prior meetings and your lawyer and today in this courtroom, have you told anyone about that letter? Arline said, no. Well, yes, I did. The government said, do you remember who you told without saying the name? Arline said, number 68. The government said, the individual shown in number 68. Arline said, yes. The government said, do you remember when you told this individual in number 68 about the letter? Arline said, I think we was out while we went to the mall or something like that. And I had just told him that I had to write a letter. And he told me he had to write the same letter. Ooh. Government said, I want to switch gears for a moment. Who did you live with during high school? Arline said, my mom and stepfather. Government said, and what, if any, relationship did you have with your biological father when you were in high school? Arline said, somewhat relationship. The government said, and when would you spend time with him? Arline said, mostly on the weekends. The government said, without saying it, do you remember your home telephone number at your mother's house when you were growing up? Arline said, yes. The government said, now, did you provide that phone number to the government? Arline said, yeah. The government said, now, does she still have that phone number today? Arline said, yes. The government said, I'm showing the witness was only marked for identification as Government's Exhibit 939. Do you recognize what is shown in Government's Exhibit 939? Arline said, yes. The government said, what is that? Arline said, my parents' phone number. The government said, is that the phone number for your mother and stepfather when you were in high school? Arline said, yes. Then Ms. Geddes, the government offers 939. Mr. Koenig said, my only objection is to relevance, Your Honor. The judge said, overruled. Jury only. Geddes says, yes, jury only. The lawyer says, admitted into evidence, jury only. Government Exhibit 939 was received in evidence. And the government said, do you remember the telephone number of your biological father's house when you were in high school? Arline said, yes. The government said, did you provide that phone number to the government? Arline said, yes. The government said, I'm showing you what is marked for identification as Government's Exhibit 939A, witness only. Do you recognize Government's Exhibit 939A? Arline said, yes. Government said, what is that? Arline said, my father's phone number. Government said that they offered 953A. Koenig said, same objection. The judge says, objection is overruled. Is this jury only? Geddes says, yes, please. Judge says, it's admitted into evidence. Government Exhibit 953A was received in evidence. Then the government said, and finally, are you aware of and was your biological father remarried when you were in high school? Arline said, yes. The government said, are you aware of her telephone number when you were in high school? Arline said, yes. The government said, now, did you provide that telephone number to the government? Arline said, yes. The government said they were showing the witness only what is marked for identification as 953D. Do you recognize what is shown in 953D? Arline said, yes. The government said, what is it? Arline said, my stepmother's phone number. The government said, and when you say your stepmother, are you referring to your biological father's then wife? Arline said, yes. The government said, this is where you would spend weekends in high school at their house. Arline said, yes. The government said, the government offers 953D. Judge says same objection. Koenig says, yes, Your Honor. Judge said the objection is overruled. Jury only. It's in evidence. Government Exhibit 953D was received in evidence. Then the lawyer said, now, since 2007 or 2006, when you first met the defendant, how regularly did you speak with the defendant over the telephone when you were on speaking terms with him? Arline said, a lot. The government said, did he have the same phone number during the 15-year period or multiple phone numbers? Arline said, multiple. The government said, do you recall any of his phone numbers? Arline said, yes. The lawyer said, well, how many? Arline said, I remember one specifically. The government said, and do you remember when he had this particular phone number? Arline said, no. The government said, well, what is the phone number? Arline said, I could say it. The lawyer said, yes. He gave the number. Then the lawyer said, over the years that you spent time with the defendant, wait, if anything, did you see the defendant carrying? What, if anything, did you see the defendant carrying with him? Arline said, mostly a backpack. The lawyer said, did you ever have an opportunity to see what was inside that backpack? Arline said, I don't know everything that was in there, but for the most part, I seen an iPad or money come out of it. The government said, when you would see an iPad come out, when would you see an iPad come out of the backpack? Arline said, at the gym or when the encounter is about to happen. The court said, the judge says, excuse me, did you say it was 630, boom, boom, boom? The witness says, yes, ma'am. The judge says, sorry about that. The government said, who did you see taking out the iPad from the backpack? Arline said, Robert. Government said, the defendant? Arline said, yes. The government said, did there come a time that you were offered money to a potential witness in government's case against the defendant here? Arline said, yes. The government said, now, did you learn that at the time you offered that money, that potential witness, that witness was cooperating with the government and was recording your conversations? Arline said, yes. Hold on. Talking about Azriel. Oh, hold on. I gotta go. Hold on, y'all. The government said, did there come a time that you offered money to a potential witness in the government's case against the defendant here? Arline said, yes. The government said, did you learn that at any time you offered that money to that potential witness, that the witness was cooperating with the government? Hold on, y'all. What's up, man? What's going on? You need anything? Okay, I'll call you back. All right. The potential witness, that witness was cooperating with the government and was recording your conversations. Arline said, yes. The government said, what did you offer that potential witness money to do? Arline said, to not cooperate. The government said, with the government? Arline said, yes. The government said, did there come a time when you were arrested and charged with a crime in federal court? Arline said, yes. The government said, what were you charged with? Arline said, bribery. The government said, just to be clear, was the defendant involved in any way with that offer to pay money to a potential witness? Arline said, no. The government said, whose idea was it? Arline said, mine. The government said, now you testified that you were charged with bribery. Was it bribery of that potential witness who you just testified about? Arline said, I'm sorry. What was it? What was that? The government said, you testified that you were charged with bribery. Were you charged with bribing that potential witness? Arline said, yes. The lawyer said, how did you resolve that case? Arline said, I pled guilty. The government said, what crime did you plead guilty to? Arline said, attempted bribery. The government said, what is the maximum sentence that you face? Arline said, 15 years. The government said, you testified that you pleaded guilty to attempted bribery. What, if any, type of agreement did you have with the government? Arline said, just a cooperation deal. The government said, what are your obligations under that cooperation agreement? Arline said, to be truthful and honest to the government. The government said, do you have to testify here today? Arline said, yes. Government said, do you want to be here today? Arline said, no. The government said, what, if anything, do you understand you'll receive in exchange for being truthful with the government and testifying here today? Arline said, a letter. The government said, what is in that letter? Arline said, basically letting the judge know everything I've done up to this point. Arline says, who writes that letter? I'm sorry, the government said, who writes that letter? Arline said, the government. The government said, in that letter, does the government recommend a particular sentence to the judge who will sentence you today? Who will sentence you? Arline said, no. The government said, as you sit here today, do you know what your sentence will be? Arline said, no. The government said, you testified earlier that when you first met the defendant, you wanted him to help you with your musical aspirations. Is that right? Arline said, yes. The government said, do you still hope to make it in the music world? Arline said, yes. The government said, what, if anything, over the 15 years that you knew the defendant, did the defendant, do to help with your musical ambitions? That answer, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing. Damn. 15 years. 15 years. The government said, how, if at all, do you believe that your testimony today will affect your ability to make it in the music industry? Arline said, it will affect it. Government said, how so? Arline said, my reputation. The government said, in a good way or a bad way? Arline said, in a bad way. The government said, one moment, nothing further. Okay. Now, this next part is what all the people on the other side said that they could not wait to see. They wanted me to read. They said, Atmos, make sure you read the cross-examination of Richard Arline Jr. So we about to read it, y'all. Let's read it. Yes, Brewski gave him 15 years of his young life, promising him that he was going to do this and do that and all this, and he did nothing for the boy. Ain't that crazy? All right, y'all. Let's get into it. We about to get into the cross-examination. We about to get into the cross-examination. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. We about to get it. We about to get it. We about to get it. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. This is a cross-examination by Mr. Canick They call him the mechanic. Let's see if he bought his tools today, y'all. Let's see if he bought his tools. Mr. Mechanic says, so you testified and told us that you're here today under a cooperation agreement. Arline said, yes, sir. Mechanic said, when was it that you entered that cooperation agreement? Arline said, I'm sorry, what was that? Mechanic said, when did you enter the cooperation agreement? The judge says, when did you enter it? Arline said, February. Mechanic said, February when? What year? Arline said, 2021. Mechanic said, 2021. Did you prefer sessions before entering the agreement? Arline said, I'm sorry, what? Mechanic said, did you have meetings with the government before you entered this cooperation agreement? Arline said, yes. Mechanic said, how many meetings did you have with the government before you entered into the cooperation agreement? Arline said, maybe 1 or 2. Mechanic said, so you had 1 or 2 meetings with the government and they decided to sign you up as a cooperator. Arline said, yes. Mechanic said, when you first spoke with the government, you didn't tell them that it was your idea to make this bribery offer, right? Arline said, yes, I did. Mechanic said, didn't you tell them that it was, or you were doing it to help the person because you knew the person needed money? Arline said, what? Can you say that again? Mechanic said, didn't you tell the government that the reason why you tried bribing this person is that you did it to benefit the person? Arline said, no. Mechanic said, you didn't tell them that you did it to benefit the person because you knew the person would need money? Arline said, no. Mechanic said, you didn't tell them that the person asked for $2 million? Arline said, yes, I did. Mechanic said, the person asked for $2 million after you extended an opportunity for the person to get money. Am I correct? Arline said, yes. Mechanic said, and when you, going back to the cooperation agreement, you said that the government would write a letter to your sentencing judge if you came here and testified and told the truth. Am I correct? Arline said, correct. Lawyer said, now, it's the government who decides what the truth is. Am I correct? Arline said, no. The government said, they are the ones who decide whether or not you're being truthful or not. Arline said, no. Mechanic said, who makes that decision? Arline said, my statements. Mechanic said, the government will only write that letter if you tell the truth, right? Arline said, yes. Lawyer said, someone has to evaluate what the truth is, whether or not you're telling the truth, right? Arline said, correct. Mechanic said, isn't it the government who makes that determination as to whether or not you're telling the truth? Arline said, yes. Mechanic said, so you have to tell the truth according to what the government finds to be truthful, right? Arline said, say that one more time. Mechanic said, you have to tell the truth in order to what the government finds to be truthful. Arline said, yes. Mechanic said, if you don't tell a story that fits with the government's version of the truth, you don't get the letter, right? Hold on. You don't get the letter, right? Mechanic says, how do you know? Arline said, I don't know. Mechanic said, you haven't gotten a letter yet, right? Arline said, no. Mechanic says, so what part of your getting a letter is coming here and testifying? That's one part, right? Arline said, yes. Mechanic said the second part is that the government has to make a determination as to whether or not they think you're being truthful. Am I correct? Arline said, correct. Mechanic said, and if you think that your testimony fits their version of the truth, then they write the letter. The government says objection. The judge says sustained. Mechanic says they don't write that letter unless they think that you're telling the truth. Am I correct? The government says objection. The judge says, do you know anything about when they will write the letter? Arline said, no, I don't. Mechanic says, you had a lawyer. Am I correct? Arline said, yes, I do. Mechanic said, and the lawyer was with you during this process. Am I correct? Arline says, correct. Mechanic said, the lawyer explained to you that this is all about, the judge says, sustained. Don't ask about his communications with his lawyers. Mechanic says, I'm not asking about the communication. I'm asking about whether or not he, the lawyer, assisted him in getting an understanding of what he was signing. The judge says he has a right to counsel. Mechanic said, okay, all right, okay. And Mechanic said, before you signed an agreement, right, you signed a cooperation agreement. The judge says, can I see the lawyers at the side for just a second with the court reporter? Sidebar. Okay, y'all. New information. Information that has not been put out here yet. Let's get to it. This is sidebar. This is what those bloggers in the courtroom did not report on because they didn't see this. Here we go. The judge says, look, I don't have any problems with asking him questions about the letter, but you can't ask him about his communications with his counsel. Mechanic said, right. The judge says, because again, I find it always sort of interesting that lawyers are so outraged when witnesses have lawyers represent them, but he does have a lawyer to client communications, and you can't ask him about what his lawyer told him. Mechanic says, I didn't ask him that. I asked him. The judge says, I think you did. Mechanic said, look, what I've been trying to ask him is before signing the agreement, he and his lawyer discussed it. I'm not asking what they discussed. And then the lawyer helped him to understand the contents of the letter. The judge says, you can ask him if he spoke to the lawyer before he signed it. I just don't think I think everybody knows you can't ask him what the lawyer told him about it in terms of his right to counsel. Mechanic said, I'm not asking that. And if I did, I got wound up. The judge says, just one more thing. I just think at some point, maybe in my final instructions, but I do think the jury is entitled to know that he got his right to counsel. Mechanic said, right. The judge says, I don't need to do it now, but I guess what I'll do is just give an instruction in the final charge. Mechanic said, okay, sure. Sidebar is ended. Okay, here we go. Mechanic comes back. He says, now a short while ago, I asked you whether or not, you know what? Withdraw that question. You knew what you were signing. Am I correct when you signed the cooperation agreement? Arline said, yes, sir. The lawyer said, now, prior to signing the cooperation agreement, you and your attorney discussed the cooperation agreement. Am I correct? Arline said, yes, sir. The government said, and basically that was done to make sure that you understood what, in fact, you were signing. Am I correct? Geddes says, objection. The court said, overruled. Arline said, yes, sir. Koenig said, and now again, the cooperation agreement gave you there are certain requirements that you have to fulfill in order to get that 5. Do you know what the letter is called? Arline said the 5K letter. Koenig said, now, the 5K letter, that's the letter that they sent to the judge. Arline said, yes, sir. Koenig said, and it's your hope that you don't do any more time in jail, right? Arline said, yes. Koenig said, you want this to be behind you. Am I correct? Arline said, yes, sir. Koenig said, and you are going to do what's necessary to make sure that happens. Am I correct? Arline said, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do the right thing. Koenig said, oh, the right thing. Well, according to you, the right thing is telling the truth in accordance to what the government finds the truth to be. Am I correct? The government says objection. Judge says sustained. Koenig said, now I asked you a short while ago about what you told the government about why you were seeking to bribe someone. Do you remember me asking you that? Arline said, yes, sir. Koenig says, Koenig says, and I said, what you told the government is that you were trying to help this person by bribing them, offering them a bribe, and you told me no, that was not the case. Arline said, not the case. Koenig said, did you tell me that? Arline said, not the case. Koenig said, okay, you just told us that you had certain interviews with the government. Arline said, yes. Koenig said, before coming to give testimony here. Arline said, yes. Koenig said, do you recall telling the government, the court? Okay, so the judge says, what page are you referring to? Koenig says, page 3 of 8. Geddes says, excuse me? Koenig says, 3 of 8. The judge says, of what though? Koenig said, yeah, I can only tell you 8. Geddes says 500-8. Koenig says 500-8. The judge says, okay, go ahead. Koenig said, I think you may be. Okay. Then he gets back to Arline. Koenig says, you told the agent that at the time of the conversation with this person, that you were just trying to help the person out and was trying to stop. Well, the first part is we're just trying to help the person. Remember telling the government that now? Arline said, yes. Koenig said, you weren't trying to help that person out, were you? Arline said, I was trying to help myself. Koenig said, yeah, you were trying, so you lied to the government. The government said, objection. The court said, overruled. Were you telling the truth or lying when you said that? Arline said, sorry, can you re-ask the question? The judge, the lawyer, Koenig said, You weren't lying to the government when you say that you were trying to help the person out, right? Arline said, I was still trying to help that person, yeah, but I was trying to help myself as well. Koenig said, sir, when you told the government that you were offering a bribe because you were just trying to help the person, you were telling a lie, weren't you? Government said, objection. The court said, overruled. Arline said, I said I was trying to help myself and that person. The judge says, how would it help you? Arline said, I was going to get a certain part of it. The judge says, I see. Arline said, I was going to get a certain part of the money, and I also thought that the person, might have some tapes on me as well. The judge says, I just didn't hear what he said. I'm sorry. Some tapes. Arline said, I thought that person might have some tapes of the things that happened with me and the defendant. The judge says, I see. Koenig said, now, did you tell the government that you felt that that person might have some tapes on you? Arline said, yeah. I told him I was trying to protect myself. Koenig said, no. My question, sir, is did you tell the government that you thought that person might have some tapes on you? Arline said, I'm trying to remember. Koenig said, no. I'll give you your paperwork. You said you're trying to remember whether or not you told the government that. Arline said, I had a couple of interviews with them. Koenig said, you had more than a couple. The judge said, Mr. Koenig, Mr. Koenig, you have to let him finish. It's too hard on the court reporter. Koenig said, I'm sorry. I'm a little wild. Yeah, you are wild. Crazy man. The judge says, you can finish your answer. Arline said, look, I was just saying, I had a couple of interviews, and that's very, very nerve-wracking. I mean, I might have forgot some things I say. Koenig said, may I approach, Your Honor? The judge said, sure. Koenig said, I'm going to show you some of these documents, and I want you to look through them. The government said, objection. The judge says, well, why don't you confer with the government rather than go through? That looks like quite a number of pages, and I would just like to do this as efficiently as we can. I don't want to keep you from your cross, but if there's a particular point that you want to show him, or if you want to get a stipulation from the government, or Mr. Koenig said, I want to show he said that. I want to show that he said that. The government said, go ahead and show him then. Koenig said, okay, look at them. The judge says, is there one or two that would deal with this topic? The only reason I'm asking is, does he need to look at every single one? Koenig said, he doesn't recall. The judge says, fine, go ahead then. Koenig says, I want him to look at everything. The judge says, go ahead, look through them. So the government says, is there a question though for him? Koenig said, yes, I think that question is already there. Arline said, I said I don't remember. Koenig said, yeah, that will hopefully help you remember. The judge says, the question is, do you remember whether you told anybody from the government whether or not you had hoped that this person might have some of the tapes of the sexual encounters between you and the defendant? Do you know whether or not you told anyone that? Arline said, I believe I did. The court says, okay. What Mr. Canick is asking you to do is to go through that stack of papers and see if there's anywhere in there that shows that you said that. But if there's, Canick said, maybe I can speak with the government. The court said, let's do that. Canick says the government will stipulate that it's not there. The judge says, okay. So now you don't have to look through those papers. Arline said, thank you. Canick comes back up. What's going on, BC Nation? How you doing? Welcome in. Keely 2, what's up? Ty, what's up? Karen A. Riri, what up? How you doing? All right. Canick, come back in. Now, you testified and told us that, you know what? Withdraw that question. How much money did you tell the person that you would work to try to get? Arline said, I think the first number I threw out was like 200,000. Canick said, was it 200,000 or was it 2 million? Arline said, well, she asked for 2 million. Canick said, so she asked for 2 million and you were hoping to get some of the 200,000. Am I correct? Arline said, yes. Canick said, who were you hoping to get that from? Arline said, the individual. Canick said, now, when you say the individual, who are you talking about? The judge says, are you talking about the person who you were? Arline said, no, that I was bribing. Canick said, so you were hoping to get it from the person you were bribing? Arline said, yes. Canick said, so you were hoping to get a kickback? Arline said, yes. The government said, no. Arline said, no, I'm sorry. Canick said, you had not had any discussions with Robert Kelly about any of this. Am I correct? Arline said, correct. Canick said, he doesn't know anything about you were doing that. Am I correct? Arline said, correct. Canick said, now you had another scheme going on. Am I correct regarding a book deal? Arline said, about a book deal? Canick said, yeah. Arline said, a scheme? Canick said, yeah. Arline said, I know we had talks about a book deal. Canick said, who were you having the talks about a book deal with? Gaddis said, one moment. The judge says, maybe move to a different area. Then the judge said, Canick said, you tried to set up a book deal where you would get 20% of the book deal. Arline said, yes. Oh, God, this boy. Somebody put in the chat earlier, Arline was a trip. Y'all right. This boy all over the place. Oh, gone. Kenny said, okay. This was all after Robert was in jail. Am I correct? Arline said, yes. Kenny said, the bribery. Arline said, yes. Canick said, and the book deal. Arline said, yes. Canick said, he had nothing to do with the book deal as far as you know, right? The judge says, can I see counsel at the side with the side reporter? Okay, now all this, y'all, look at this. All this is redacted. What in the world? Okay, the judge says, you're withdrawing that last question. Canick said, yeah. The judge says, Canick says, now you testified and told us about your being arrested on a bribery here. Am I correct? Arline said, yes, sir. Canick said, now, when you were arrested on the charges, were you incarcerated after being arrested? Arline said, no. Kenneth said, you were not. You were never incarcerated? Arline said, no. Kenneth said, never went inside the jail. Arline said, oh, I did. Yeah. When you say incarcerated, I thought you meant sentenced. This is why R. Kelly need to let these kids finish school. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Yes. What's up, The Truth? How you doing? Hey, y'all, if y'all could please hit that like button for a brother. Please hit the like button. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. Okay? Hit the like button for me, please. Thank y'all so much. Here we go. Arline said, oh, I did. Yeah, when you say incarcerated, I thought you meant sentenced. Kenneth said, no. When you were incarcerated after your arrest, you were incarcerated for how long of a period? Arline said, maybe a couple of hours. Kenneth said, a couple of hours? And then you was released? Arline said, yes, sir. Kenneth said, and did you start cooperating on the date of your arrest? Arline said, yes. Kenneth said, and that cooperation pretty much got you a bail. Arline said, I don't know. Kenneth said, yes, you got a bail. Arline said, yes, sir. Kenneth said, and you never went into a federal facility. Arline said, yes, I was in the facility. Kenneth said, you were in a facility for about 2 hours, right? Arline said, I believe so, yes. Kenneth said, never spent a night in there. Arline said, no. Kenneth said, but you're facing 15 years. Arline said, yes. Kenneth said, and you are hoping that you won't see 15 minutes in jail. Am I correct? Arline said, that's my prayer. Kenneth said, that's your prayer. Now, you testified earlier on direct examination that there was a time that you went to visit Robert, and Robert was the person who came and let you into the gate because there was no security there. Arline said, yes. Kenneth said, okay. And do you remember in another interview with the government, 3 of 10, where you told them that Candy, who worked for security for Kelly, was at the gate? Arline said, I told them that she normally always at the gate. Kenneth said, in that meeting, the conversation you had with the government on that particular date, during this supposed encounter that you had with Robert, you told them that Candy, who worked security for Kelly, was at the gate. Normally, Candy would be the one to get in touch with Kelly and then open the gate. However, Kelly was the one who opened the gate for you on this occasion. So here, in that meeting with the government, you told them that Candy was, in fact, at the gate that day. The government said, objection. The court said, overruled. Kenneth said, you don't remember that? Arline said, I said that she was at the gate. I mean, she normally always opens the gate. That's correct. But she did not open the gate on that day. Kenneth said, in your testimony earlier to the jury, you told them that no one is at the gate. You called Robert, and Robert came And Robert was the person who opened up the gate. Do you remember telling us that? Arline said, yes, on that date. On that date. Koenig said, but my question to you is, do you recall telling the government during an interview that Candy, who worked security for Kelly, was at the gate? Government says objection. Judge says overruled. Is that what you said, that she was at the gate and she let you in? Arline said, no, she was not at the gate. Koenig said, I'm going to show him. The court said, can you just tell me what the page? Koenig said 3 of 10. The court said, okay. Koenig said 35. Geddes said, is 3500 exhibit number 9? The court said, yes. Geddes says page 3. Koenig said, I direct your attention to the highlighted portion. I will point out to speed it up. Arline said, I said normally Candy would. It says normally Candy would. Koenig said, just correct me if I'm reading this incorrectly, okay? Candy, who worked security for Kelly, was at the gate. Arline said, that must... Koenig said, I read that correctly, didn't I? Arline said, when it says normally, like, is when normally would get in touch with him. Koenig said, yeah, but you say here that she was at the gate. Government says objection. Arline said she was not at the gate. The judge says whatever the objection is, it's overruled. Koenig said, now, you testified and told us that this encounter at the McDonald's when Robert inquired about a certain young lady, you said Robert gave you 2 pieces of paper. Do you remember telling us that? Arline said, yes. The judge says, Mr. Koenig, I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't know how much longer you have, but we have a break coming up whenever it is a convenient time. Koenig said, this will be a convenient time. The court says convenient time, okay. So ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take our break. Please don't talk about the case. I will see you all in a few minutes. The court deputy says, all rise. The court says, okay, everybody can sit down. You can take the witness out. And then the court says, okay, anything before we break? Koenig says, no, not from me. Okay, y'all, we're going to continue. Let me go run really quick. Give me like 20 seconds. If you could, while you're in here, please hit the like button. I'll be right back. Okay. I ain't got no tea, y'all, so I had to get me some juice. I ain't got no tea, so I had to get me some juice. Okay. Let's get it. All right. Court said, okay, so we'll see you in a few minutes. They come back. We are at 1910. All right. In open court, jury's not present, parties present. The clerk says, all rise. The court says, everybody can sit down. So are you ready for the witness? Mr. Farinella said, yes. The court said, let's get the witness. The court said, all right, and let's get the jury. You may sit down until they come in. It takes a few minutes. Then the witness says, thank you. The juror enters the courtroom. The clerk says, you may be seated. The court says, all right, folks, we are ready to resume with the cross-examination by Mr. Canick. Go ahead. Mr. Canick says, yes, thank you, Your Honor. The clerk says the witness is reminded he's still under oath. Arline said, yes, ma'am. Continuing the cross-examination of Richard Arline Jr. Here we go. All right, here we go. Canick says, now you testified and told us that normally Candy or some other security officer would be at the gate whenever you went to Robert's home. Arline said, like I said previous, I said normally she would be at the gate. Canick said, well, the question is a little different this time. When you would go to his house, there would be security at the gate. Arline said, yes. Canick said, and the security, they would take your ID, would they not? Arline said, no. Canick said, they never took your ID. Arline said, no. Canick said, never ask you for your ID. Arline said, no. Canick said, even the first time you went there, Arline said, no. Canick said, and the first time you went there, according to you, you went with your mother and your stepfather. Arline said, correct. Canick said, okay. Do you know whether or not they took the security ID? Arline said, I don't believe so. Canick said, now, what about a non-disclosure agreement? You never signed one of those either. Arline said, I believe so. The lawyer said, Canick said, you believe that you signed a non-disclosure agreement, but you never gave them your ID. Arline said, no. Canick said, when was it that you believed that you signed the non-disclosure agreement? Arline said, I'm sorry, what was that? Canick said, when was it that you believe you signed a non-disclosure agreement? Arline said, when I went to the first party. Okay. Canick said, okay. And the second time you went there, you didn't sign a non-disclosure, nor did you have or give an ID. Arline said, no. Canick said, but Candy or some other person from security was at the gate, correct? Arline said, correct. Canick said, now, when you went the first time, you testified and told the jury that it was in the Christmas season. Arline said, correct. Canick said, and I'm sorry, he said yes. He said yes. Canick said, and you saw a huge Christmas tree. Arline said, correct. Canick said, and that it was cold. Arline said, it was cold out. Yes. Canick said, and you recall the Christmas tree though, right? Arline said, yes. Canick said, now when you first met Robert, according to you, you were 16 years old. Arline said, I believe about 17. Canick said, you believe you were 17? Arline said, yes. Canick said, okay, isn't it a fact that you told the government, isn't it a fact that you told the government that when you had one of those meetings with him that you were 14? Arline said, I was getting the date. As the time went on, I got the dates correct. Arline said, and Kennick said, so to answer my question, the answer to my question is yes. Arline said, not for sure. Kennick said, not for sure. So you don't. So as you sit here today under oath, you have no recollection as to if you told the government during one of those meetings that you were 14 at the first, and then the first meeting, in the first meeting with Robert? Arline says, no. I just remember trying to get the age right and the timing right. Kennick said, do you have a recollection of telling them on one occasion that you were 16 and on another occasion that you were 14? Arline said, it's possible. Kennick said, it's possible. Did the government tell you at the meeting that if you were to make a false statement to them, that it's a federal offense? Arline said, yes. Kennick said, now, what was the young lady's name that you said worked with you at McDonald's? Arline said, Dominique. Kennick said, the one that Robert was trying to get you to hook him up with? Arline said, oh, that was the lady, named from the first time I met. Kennick said, yes. Arline said, Valerie. Kennick said, Valerie, do you recall telling the government that the lady's name was Violet? Oh, God. Kennick said, Arline said, probably. Kennick said, probably. It doesn't matter to you what you told them, right? Government says, objection. The court says, sustained. The government says, Kennick said, well, you will acknowledge that Valerie and Violet are two separate names and two different names, right? Arline said, correct. Kennick said, as you sit here today, do you have an independent recollection as to what name you told them? Arline said, on which occasion? Oh, gosh, man. Arline. Bro. All right, hey y'all, let's stop. Let's not block nobody in the chat, please. As long as nobody being disrespectful, please don't block anybody in the chat. This is for everybody to come and listen to the transcripts. Crimson Tide, if you please don't be disrespectful. If you are, please don't block anybody if they're not being disrespectful. Please, thank you. I can't watch the chat. All I see is Crimson Tide being blocked and timed out. I don't know what he said. But please, do not block anybody. Thank you. All right. Kennick said, as you sit here today, do you have an independent recollection as to what name you told them? On which occasion? Arline said, on which occasion? Kennick said, that's a good question. I will show you. Isn't it a fact that Kennick said, page 206. Geddes said, which number is it? Kennick said, 206. Kennick said, isn't it a fact that you told the government during one of those meetings that he asked you if you could get Violet's number for him? That's what you told the government, right? Arline said, that's correct. That's what was on this paper. Koenig said, and you made the Valerie up when you came here today. Am I correct? The government says objection. The judge says he did what? He made it up. Is that the question? Is the question is? I think this dude was slow. Something ain't right with him. Something is not right with him. Oh, gosh. Y'all can please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you. Government said objection. The court said he did what? He made it up. Is that the question? Koenig said yes. The judge says, did you make that up when you said Valerie? Arline said no. Koenig said, where did you get the name from? Arline said, as I said, the more we talk about it, the more everything is coming back to me. Koenig said, now you told the government at some point in that time that Mr. Kelly, you know what, withdraw that. What's your date of birth? Arline said, February 11th, 1989. Koenig said, February 11th, 1989. Now, you told the government that when you were about 17 or 18 years old, that Kelly recorded you on one of those encounters that you told us about on the iPad. Do you remember telling us that or telling the government that? Arline said, yes. Koenig said, now, when you were 17 years old, that would have been in 2006. Am I correct? Arline said, correct. Koenig said, and if you were 18 years old, that would be 2007. Am I correct? Arline said, correct. Koenig said, and you told the government that when you were one of those ages, Kelly recorded you on an iPad in a sexual encounter. Arline said, correct. Koenig said, are you aware that the iPad was not released until 2010? Arline said, are you saying that I said it happened in that period of time, or you said one of the encounters? It happened on one of the encounters. It had to happen in 2007 or 2006. Koenig said, isn't it a fact that you told the government that you got older and it was 17 or 18 when Kelly recorded you on iPads at 17 and 18? Arline said, I remember at the beginning it was on a camera and then eventually iPads. That's the correction right there. Okay. That's what they was hooping and hollering about right there. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, cool. Here we go. Here we go. Koenig said, that's not my question. My question is, isn't it a fact that you told the government that when you were 17 and 18, Kelly recorded you on an iPad, on iPads at that time? Arline said, not for sure. Koenig said, well, see if this refreshes your recollection. Where my thumb is, just read there and see if it refreshes your recollection that you told the government that when you were 17 and 18, Kelly recorded you on iPads in sexual encounters. Arline said, I see it. Whew. Koenig said, you see it. It's written there, right? Arline said, yes, sir. Koenig said, and again, when the government told you that it's a lie, and to make a false statement to a government official, your attorney was there. Am I correct? The judge says, I think you mean, was it a crime to make a false statement? Koenig said, oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. The judge says, do you understand the question? Arline said, can you rephrase it? Koenig said, when the government told you during those sessions that you met with them, that you had to be truthful because it was a crime to tell a lie to a federal official, your attorney was there, right? Arline said, he wasn't there the first time I got locked up and they asked me questions. Koenig said, was he there the second time? Arline said, I believe so. Yeah. Koenig said, and the first time that you were there was no lawyer. Arline said, there was no lawyer with you. Arline said, no. Geddes says, objection. Court said, overruled. He said no. Next question. Koenig said, but the government did tell you that you had to be truthful to them. Am I correct? Arline said, yes. Koenig said, now you were asked a short while ago about if Kelly did anything whatsoever to help your musical career. Do you remember that being asked that question? Arline said, yes, sir. Koenig said, now you testified and told us that there came a point in time that you went to Kelly's home and had some beats for you. Am I correct? Arline said, yes, he played a beat. Koenig said, and you performed the beat. Arline said, he had me record on that beat. Koenig said, right. And afterwards, he told you that you need to learn how to sing and rap. Did he not? Arline said, yes. And Koenig said, and you told the government that, right? Arline said, yes. And Koenig said, and after, how long had it been? How long have you been at your music career? Arline said, since I was about 15 or 16. Koenig said, have you recorded a song? Arline said, yes. Koenig said, what's the name of the song? Arline said, new songs or old songs? Koenig said, any song. Arline said, any song? Koenig said, yes, that you've recorded. Arline said, do the dash. Koenig said, do the dash. Arline said, yes, sir. Koenig said, and is that something that someone can buy, or is it just something you recorded on the tape? Arline said, you can buy it. Koenig said, you can buy it. Okay, under what name? Geddes says, objection. The court said, let's not do that. Koenig said, did you have a recording company when you were working with? Arline said, no, just producers. Koenig said, who was the producer? Arline said, I don't remember. Koenig said, so you made a song and you had a producer, but you don't remember the name of the producer. Arline said, you talking a recent producer? Koenig said, do the dash. Who was the producer? Arline said, is it okay to call people's names out? Koenig said, who is the producer of Do the Dash? The judge says, may I see the lawyers without the court reporter for just a moment? So the discussion is held off the record. Koenig says, almost finished, Your Honor. The judge says, sure. Koenig said, you testified earlier that there was a meeting that Mr. Kelly had at the Trump Towers where you and another individual attended. Arline said, yes. Koenig said, how old were you when that occurred? Arline said, I'm not sure. Koenig said, well, wait a minute. You said it happened in 2018. Arline said, 2018, I believe. I believe I said when I wrote the letter in the hallway. The judge says, Is that the time that you're talking about when he wrote the letter in the hallway? Kenneth said, let's go with that one. The judge says, do you remember when that was? The witness says, it had to be 2019, sometime in the beginning. Kenneth said, 2019? You said you're 31 now, right? Arline said, didn't say. The judge says 32, right? Okay, Kenneth says 32 now. And how many years has passed since 2019? Arline said 2. Kenneth said 2. So you would have been 30 years old, right? Arline said, yes, sir. Kenneth said, and according to you, he called you over, told you that you had to write this letter, and you're a grown man at that time. Am I correct? Arline said, yes, sir. Kenneth said, 30 years old. Arline said, yes, sir. Kenneth said, and according to you, you did it? Arline said, yes, sir. Kenneth said, now, what time that you and this other person that you identified in the photograph earlier had a meeting where he was trying to, according to you, repair the relationship between the two of you? How old were you then? Arline said, I'm not sure, sir. Kenneth said, not sure? Do you remember what year that was? Arline said, you want an estimate? Kenneth said, what year did it occur? Arline said, I don't remember. Kenneth said, you don't remember how old you were? Arline said, no, sir. Kenneth said, but you were a grown man. Arline said, yes, sir. Kenneth said, and basically these encounters that you told us about, they, according to you, happened when you were a grown man. Some of them. Arline said, yes, sir. Kenneth said, now lastly, you were asked about that you're still pursuing your music career by the government. Have you had anything released that time, or have you had anything released that made any of the charts? Arline said, no, sir. Kenneth said, anything released that received any sale? Arline said, sales? Kenneth said, yes. Arline said, yes. Kenneth said, what is that? Arline said, bare minimum. Kenneth said, I beg your pardon? Arline said, bare minimum. Like maybe 150. Kenneth said, bare minimum. Arline said, 150 streams or something like that. Kenneth said, and what's the name of the song? Kenneth said, the government said, objection. The judge says, I will sustain it. Kenneth said, what year was it released? Arline said, this year. Kenneth said, and you had? Kenneth said, nothing, Your Honor. The judge said, sorry, what did you say? Oh, you're done? Kenneth said, I was about to ask a question, but I don't need to know. The judge says, all right, any redirect? Kenneth says, yes, Judge. She had to come and get Arline together, y'all, because he was all over the damn place. Boy. Let's see if she can steer this boy back in the right, on the right road. Here we go. So this is the redirect examination. Okay. Geddes says, on cross-examination, you were asked about certain statements contained within a report that defense counsel showed you that referred to Candy. Do you remember, or do you recall that report? Arline said yes. Geddes says, and I'm showing the witness only that report, 3509, page 3 of 10. So then the government says, and on cross-examination, you were asked about your testimony that on that occasion where you met the defendant in that detached garage where that first sexual encounter with the defendant occurred, who was the individual who let you in that day? Who was the individual who let you in that day? Arline said Robert Kelly. The lawyer said, and normally, who was the individual who would let you in? Arline said, Candy. The lawyer said, the security guard? Arline said, yes. Government said, and directing your attention to page 3 of 10, does it say normally Candy would let you in? However, on this occasion, Kelly was the one who let you in? Arline said, yes. The government said, just as you testified, Arline said, yes. The government said, were you asked about, you were asked about your participation in that bribery that led to your arrest. Do you recall those questions? Arline said, yes. The government said, now, how did you communicate with the defendant who, or the potential witness that you offered money to? Arline said on the phone. The government said, and did you understand that those phone conversations were all recorded? Arline said, can you ask that one more time? I'm sorry. The government said, sure. Did you misunderstand at the time? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you understand at the time when you had the phone conversations, did you know those conversations were being recorded? Arline said, no. The government said, did you later learn that the government was recording each of those conversations? Arline said, yes. The government said, and that the individual that you offered money to was cooperating with the government when you offered money to her. Arline said, yes. The government said, on cross-examination, you were asked about a book deal. Do you recall those questions? Arline said, yes. The government said, that wasn't a book deal for yourself, correct? Arline said, correct. The government said, you weren't going to publicly disclose that the defendant, did you? You weren't going to publicly disclose what the defendant did to you when you were 17 years old in that book deal, were you? Arline said, correct. The government said, you were asked on cross-examination about the particular device that was used to record sexual encounters between you and the defendant. Do you recall those questions? Arline said, yes. The government said, now, how long have you known the defendant? Arline said, I believe 15 and 16 years. The government said, and did he use different devices over those 15 and 16 years to record your sexual encounters with him? Arline said, yes. The government said, what types of devices did he use? Arline said, camcorder or iPad. The government said, and do you recall the particular date on which he used a camcorder or iPad? Arline said, no. The government said, is it fair to say that you just remember that they were recorded? Arline said, yes. The government said, and do you recall the order in which he used those two devices, the camcorder and then the iPad? Arline said, just the camcorder. That period came for the iPad. Government said, which one was first? The court said, you just have to keep your voice up. Arline said, the camcorder came before the iPad came. Government said, so first he used the camcorder and then later he used the iPad. Correct. Okay, y'all. So I know I kept y'all way longer than I was trying to, but it's okay. So we are going to stop right here at 1927. And somebody could put 1927 in the chat. 1927. All right, y'all. Let's man. A lot of information. Thank y'all very much. So, y'all, it's about 11:16 right now. I got to get up early in the morning. So what I'm going to do, if y'all would put y'all comments on this video, on the comment section after the video. If you have any questions, ask the questions. I will answer the questions. I will be back on here tomorrow. We're going to dig back into this tomorrow and keep this thing rolling because we got a lot to read, y'all. I got a lot of stuff to go over with y'all, so we're going to get at it. Thank y'all very much. What's up, West Coast Bells? How you doing? Y'all, I am going to try to get more people to help with this reading. So y'all look forward to that. So y'all got to see my face all the time. Y'all can see, get some different personalities and stuff like that. Hey, Miss Darcy, how you doing? But y'all, listen, thank y'all very much for coming over here. If y'all would please, on the way out of here, if y'all could please hit the like button, show the channel some love. If you would like to, send a little blessing to your brother, then you can always hit the Cash App, $ this blessed house. If you want to donate towards the transcripts, you are more than welcome to do that. Also, if you send a blessing and you want to go towards the transcripts, put your email address in the description or just put in their transcripts. But just put your email there, not go ahead and send you transcripts so you can, if you want to read ahead, so you can be ahead of the game before I read it. Shoot, I don't care. Y'all can do that. And just make sure that you do subscribe to the channel, y'all. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the top notification bell, and push all every time I go live. You will know. And we're gonna keep this thing going and flowing. God bless y'all. Thank y'all very much for coming in. And I will holler at y'all tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow morning for the morning show, but when I get home from work, we're going to get back into these transcripts. So tomorrow I'll probably be going live. I'll let y'all know. Okay? God bless y'all. Peace out.